Welcome back to Black Bobby Books. If you haven't been keeping up, in my last video I talked about my first curated book list, The Unexpected, covering various unexpected authors. Let's jump into it with Black Privilege, Opportunity Comes to Those Who Created by Charlamagne the God. If you don't know who Charlamagne the God is, he is a prominent radio personality. He's also a TV personality and Breakfast Club co-host. He also is the self-proclaimed prince of pissing people off. This man has pissed off politicians, actors, rappers, and he popped onto my radar when he pissed off Birdman and had everybody saying, put some respect on my name, and is you done or is you finished? Is you done or is you finished? I'm gonna be straight up and say I'm super surprised that a book with this kind of content and purpose and really feeling came from Charlamagne. Now, we all know he can be super ignorant, entertaining, but really ignorant. So to have this book come from him, I was like, okay, well, much respect. I appreciate this. Black Privilege was published April 2017, so I'm a little late, but better late than never. In the book, you figure out that Charlamagne's a little bit more than an asshole full of opinions. And he says it in the introduction. He says, despite having a big ass mouth, I pride myself on having big ass ears too, which I appreciated very much. He also informs us that when he was a kid, everyone called him Larry after his father. And the first thing I thought was, this guy's a gangster. His real name's Larry. And Larry lives at home with both parents. And Larry's parents have a real good marriage. He did live at home with both parents, but his parents didn't have a good marriage, it's the whole thing. Anyways, the book tells you stories from his childhood through his teenage years up until adulthood to the radio figurehead he is today. With every story, he has lessons learned and he has also principles, which I really loved. Every chapter is a principle, so let me run you through those real quick. Principle number 1. Success is not determined by the size of the town you're from or the type of home you grew up in. He discusses the town he's from, which is Moncks Corner, South Carolina. So tiny, had no idea it existed. He talks about the toxic cycle that goes on there, and he also talks about how proud he is to be where he's from. My takeaway from this is, it doesn't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter what kind of home you grew up in, your circumstances. It doesn't determine your mentality and your ambition. Principle number 2. Pick your passion, your poison, or your procrastination. He figured out a little bit early on that he had a knack for honesty. No matter whose feelings it hurt, he had an opinion about it. He's gonna tell you. He learned that eventually, but in the meantime, he ended up in the wrong crowd, ended up going to jail a few times, once with his dad, so that's pretty interesting. But my translation of this is, follow the path that leads to your passion. Principle number 3. Now he wrote this, excuse my language, but this is what he said. Fuck your dreams when they aren't actually yours. This was one of my personal favorites because this is something you don't hear often enough. Honesty. Straight up, brutal, blunt honesty. All too often we end up pursuing stuff that someone else told us we might be good at, or we see someone else pursuing and it seems like it's glamorous, so we go for it, thinking that that's what's gonna lead us to our happiness. Someone told him along the way, dude, you suck at rapping, because he wanted to be a rapper. Dude, you suck at rapping, fuck your dreams, you need to go and pursue this radio thing because that's what you're good at, that's where you're accumulating many fans, many followers, you should go do that. So if you see somebody in your life that you love very dearly that's following something they shouldn't follow or pursuing something they shouldn't pursue, tell them, hey bruh, fuck your dreams. Principle number 4. No losses, just lessons. This is pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to talk about it anyways. Life is full of lessons, so don't get down on yourself for failing, or in his case, getting fired. Was it 1? Was it 2? Wait, 3? He got fired 4 times, so whatever you're doing, you good, you got time. It's okay to get fired, it's okay to fail, just learn the lessons that are there. He called it divine misdirection, and I was just like, sure. Principle number 5. Another one of my favorites, put the weed in the bag. Now, if you haven't seen Belly, shame on you, but it's a famous line from the movie Belly. DMX says, put the weed in the bag. to a young dude that's bagging up some weed for him. You know, like about to go put in that work. Anyways, that translates to trust the process. You may start off at the bottom, you may start off as an unpaid intern, but get your foot in the door, work your butt off, and that'll get you to where you're going. Trust the process. I really like that one. Principles 6 and 7, I think, kind of go hand in hand. Principle 6 is live your truth and no one will be able to use it against you. Principle 7 is always give people the credit they deserve for being stupid, especially yourself. Both kind of go hand in hand with being honest with yourself and being honest with everybody around you. Now, of course, Charlamagne always takes that to a completely different level, and he kind of goes for blunt harassment of people. And he just criticizes people for the sake of criticism, in my opinion. But it's entertaining, so whatever. And lastly, principle number 8, access your privilege. Embrace the concept that you're privileged. He explains the book title, and he also goes on to say that there is a privilege in being you, in your uniqueness, your experiences that no one else has in the whole world, just you. There's privilege in that. Embrace that, accept that concept, and use it to fuel your ambitions and your passions to get you closer to your goals and ultimately your dreams. Overall, I give the book a 4 out of 5 for its content and his performance on the audiobook. He was excessively crude sometimes, but it's his book. He can do whatever he wants to. The audiobook ran for about 7 hours and 46 minutes if you are interested in that. I use audible.com, but there are many other platforms for audiobooks, so go check them out. And P.S. he actually just had another book called Shook One come out in late October. It is about his anxiety and mental health issues in the Black community. As always, thanks for listening. Please subscribe for more book reviews. The next one coming up is Gabrielle Union, We're Gonna Need More Wine, and I'll leave you with a quote. If your dreams don't scare you, they aren't big enough. Muhammad Ali. All right, y'all. Holla.